Yes, we're dropping on you right now. Let me just see if we're connected. It's been a minute since we tried one of these. Let's see if we get some comments going, and otherwise, we'll get things started. Just want to make sure. I don't want to start this thing twice. Make sure. Just double check. And let us know. Let us know if you see us. Okay, let me check my profile. Yeah. Oh, yo. Uh-oh. Okay. You got it. All right. Yes. Now they are here. Okay. Okay. All right. Brent is in the chat. Don't be nervous. Okay. All right.
This is really nervous. Okay.
Okay. Coming to you live from my apartment. It's some special coverage here on Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who's going to try to attempt to separate smoke from the fire when it pertains to Big Brother All-Stars rumors. I am Rob Sesternino. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to some Big Brother coverage as we are here on a day that we have official confirmation Big Brother All-Stars is going to happen. But what we don't know necessarily at this hour are exactly how it's going to play out and who are the Big Brother All-Stars going to be. And with me today to talk about all of that, we've got a great panel to talk about this. First, let me welcome a woman to the podcast making her first appearance, and it happens to be her birthday. She is the managing editor of digital over at Us Weekly, In Touch Weekly, Life and Style, and more. And of course, that she is a real expert on the Big Brother beat. Please welcome Sharon Tharp.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Sharon, thank you for coming on here with us. That this is a great honor to have somebody with all of your, all the work that you've been doing in this space to join us, add some real legitimacy to the podcast world.
Well, thank you. I think we can all agree it's been a crazy preseason, so I'm kind of excited to break this down with you guys.
Okay. All right. And of course, we could not kick off a Big Brother preseason coverage without being joined by the robot. Here he is, the great Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited, Rob. We're getting a season after all. For a while there, it looked like maybe we weren't going to get a season. So even just getting a season is nice, but also getting an all-star season, something that I genuinely thought would never happen. After everything that was said by the producers, they were like, no, it's not going to happen, but it's happening, Rob, and I'm very excited.
Yeah. No, Sharon, I have to give a lot of credit to the producers of Big Brother and Allison Grodner and company and the people over at CBS, where they were committed to giving us a Big Brother season. And that at any point in this process would have been very easy for them to say, too much trouble. Let's try. We'll see you next summer. They stuck to it. They came up with a plan, started to get leaked last week about how that they're planning to have people come in shifts to work in the crew. And they really seemed like that they went out of their way to try to figure this out during the pandemic.
Yeah, I was very impressed, especially after the Survivor news was kind of a bummer. So, I didn't even know until last night when I got the embargo that this was happening. I mean, I assumed, but it was all still up in the air, and it still, I guess, could technically be up in the air, but yeah, I feel pretty good about it.
Sharon, do you know from any of your reporting, was the idea to end up putting the crew into quarantine as well? Was that a new idea that they came up with along the way? Like, were they planning on not having to do that? And then because of the way that the coronavirus has progressed here in Los Angeles, for them to then go to this next level?
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, if I'm being transparent. So, but I did hear that, they were always planning on quarantining the crew. It was just a matter of how to do it. That makes sense. And the staggering situation does make sense to me. It's actually a pretty smart way to do it. I still think it's interesting that they're going to have like these pods of crew who are quarantining kind of together. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I'm excited that they're doing it. And I think it's a smart way to do it.
Okay. All right. Of course, you could check out Sharon's article from today all about how Big Brother 22 is going to be premiering on August 5th. This is exciting. And actually, if I'm being honest, Sharon, this is a little bit quicker than I expected.
Yeah, me too. I actually thought it was going to be the following weekend, just because I did hear that they were going to Sequester Tuesday night, which I think everyone kind of knew. And it's cutting it close. I mean, they're literally, I think, moving in 2 weeks exactly. So,
Yeah, Taryn, this is being billed as a 2-hour live move-in event, which is unprecedented outside of Big Brother OTT. Do you anticipate that we are really getting to see the house guests go into the house in real time?
It's interesting because it's 2 hours. I can't imagine that they're just going to let the house guests walk in and then hope that they give a good show for 2 hours. It's probably more like an hour or so of clips of these previous house guests. I mean, people on the original All-Star season, the technically first episode was like a whole clip show where they showed all of the potential all-star candidates, and then they had the actual premiere afterward.
Yeah.
So I would expect we get something like that in this premiere, and then we send them into the house and we get snippets of them interacting throughout the show. But I wouldn't expect a lot of like raw footage, I think.
Yeah, Sharon, do you have any idea of how they're planning to do that? Will it be mostly a clip show on that first 2-hour episode?
I don't know, but I actually agree with Taryn. I think we're not going to get a lot of them actually interacting. Like, they're going to go into the house. We'll see a little bit. And I think that's where it's going to cut off, unfortunately. So that's also my assumption. I'm also wondering how live is live. I mean, is it going to be a little bit of a lead time? I'm not sure.
Okay. Now, also, Taryn, we have found out that we are going to meet the cast officially on the live feeds, I believe, on July 29th. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's when the cast is going to be released. I'm not sure if the interviews will be out yet for then, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so we will have some interviewing that's going to be taking place prior to everybody moving in, and then we will have our official cast announcement. Sharon, is that what you're hearing as well?
Yeah, so I actually talked to CBS, and they aren't sure if how much press they're going to do beforehand. So I assume that they're going to have someone represent CBS to interview the cast on the live feeds, but I don't know actually how much other press they're doing.
Yeah.
And I also heard that recently that someone said that they were announcing the cast on Monday, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay. So let's get into some rumors here and tell me if this is accurate, how much you believe in this. That Taryn, I saw recently that Big Jeff had on whether it was Jeff or Jordan's Instagram account, they had posted that Jeff was going off to go film a movie, which, look, Jeff Schroeder, one of the all-time great actors of our generation, totally plausible that he's going to go be making a movie during the pandemic. But Taryn, is it possible? Is Big Jeff going into Sequester to interview the contestants? Does that sound right?
I mean, that would be, I guess, a possibility. I mean, look,
they couldn't do it on Zoom.
If I'm Big Jeff and I have an acting opportunity, there's never a better time for him to win Best Actor. There's not a lot of other competition going around. But I guess that would kind of make sense, but it doesn't really make sense. Like, why take that much time just to sit there? I mean, what do they really get from Jeff being on the couch with the person that they can't get from a Zoom call?
Sharon, what do you think?
I mean, I hope he's not doing it, if I have to be honest. There's also, people think it might be Kat, which I also think is kind of a stretch because she's teasing something on social media. I don't know who's doing it, but I just hope it's not Jeff, if I'm being completely.
All right, so let's talk names then. So Sharon, where should we begin talking about some names that are being rumored about? Because for months, people have been talking about the potential names that we could be seeing on this cast. So I guess maybe do you want to start with some of the people that we believe at this hour to be the most likely, and then we can get into other people that are potentially on the fence, and that whether there's some doubt whether or not they are on the list?
Sure. And I'm sure Taryn, let me know if you agree, but I definitely think Janelle, her name's been out there really since the beginning.
Give me a percentage here. Janelle is 100%.
100%.
100%. Wow.
Pre-gaming, all that stuff. She's been
Oh,
talking
yeah.
to a lot of people. I know CBS loves Janelle. I think they're very much aware that she has never won. But I know they wanted her. Yeah, there's just no question about Janelle in my eyes.
Okay, Taryn, this is wild. Janelle from Big Brother 6 this would be her 4th trip to the Big Brother house. She's coming off of the Amazing Race appearance, and this is exciting.
Yes, and I like let's say, it's like 3rd and a half trip. Do we really need to count 14 with Janelle? But yeah, super exciting. It's an old school player. I think that brings a lot of like credibility to the cast.
Yes,
that, like they're not forgetting their history. Janelle has always been one of the biggest names that you think about Big Brother, you probably think of Janelle. She was on the original All-Star season, one of the stars of that season. So having her come back for a second All-Star season is super exciting, and I can't wait to see what she brings.
Okay. All right. So Janelle's name is out there, but Taryn, I've also been hearing the possibility of a Janelle from Big Brother 6 confidant. Is it possible? Is Kaser in the mix for Big Brother All-Stars?
His name is out there. I feel like Janelle, I feel like very solidly is on the cast. Kaser, I'm not sure about. Maybe Sharon has more information on Kaser than I do.
All right.
But I would be very excited.
Sharon, do we have Kaser on the smoke list or the fire list?
Oh, I wish I had him confirmed. I did not even hear his name, but the fan in me was so giddy when I heard that he would be on. And then even with Janelle, like that's blowing my mind right now. So I pray that it's true, but I have no information about Kaser, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Sharon, then give me another name that is a lock at this point.
Josh Martinez.
Josh Martinez. The circus is back in town. The winner of Big Brother 19 is definitely back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Another person like the people I think who have been pre-gaming the hardest, or maybe the sloppiest, who knows, are the names that have gotten out there the most, because the most amount of people have heard that they've been pre-gaming for the season. And Josh is definitely one of those people.
Okay. Sharon, I have not followed the challenge super closely. And Sharon, let me know if you're there, if Sharon may be frozen, unless she's adopted a very stoic pose right now. Taryn, I haven't followed the challenge super closely. How has Josh done on the challenge?
Not well.
Not great.
Especially in regards to his Big Brother alumni, because he's gone on to the challenge with a lot of other Big Brother players and basically has soured his relationship with almost all of them on the challenge. At least from my sort of perspective, his relationship with Pauly is no longer very good. His relationship with, Bailey and Swaggy is no longer very good. He was on this season with Casey, and he did manage to, not have a falling out with her. So that's going to be big for him, since that actually is another name that we're looking at. So, but overall, he has not, like, if we're looking at Josh from Big Brother 19 and we're looking at like, how great did he play that season? Did he improve? Probably not.
Yeah. Whatever. Who cares how great he played? That Sharon, I feel like that Josh is somebody who's gonna create a lot of drama in the house. That I feel like he is very emotional, very dramatic. He gets into fights with people. I think he'll be good feeds.
He's always good television. I mean, again, he's not my favorite player, but I think he makes good television. I think some of the people that are rumored to be playing with him, that will be interesting with Josh.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So Josh is in. Get out the pots and pans. Okay. All right, Sharon. Who's another person who is as close as confirmed as we can get?
I know Cody Calafiore is playing.
Okay. Now there's a lot of talk out there of that. Maybe is it not Cody Calafiore, but could it be actually Mr. Paulie Calafiore? Is that possible?
No.
He's bred for it.
Yes. Yes.
Brother Cody.
My brother Cody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stay crushing it.
Okay. So a lot of people were saying Paulie Calafiore, but you say, okay, so this is Cody Calafiore is a lock to come back. All right, Taryn, your reaction.
I mean, I'd be super excited to see Cody. I have always been somebody that said that Cody does not get enough credit in the sort of like partnership that he had with Derek. I think that I would be very curious to see him come on a season like this and see how he operates, see how he does. I think that he goes in with not too many connections potentially, and would, sort of, I think, maybe be able to be kind of a free agent that people are able to pick up. And I'd be very curious to see the game that is played there. And if it's Paulie, then I think
we got a great summer of podcasting coming, Sharon. if it's Paulie.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I actually have some theories about the Cody situation.
Yes, please.
So the Paulie part of it, I believe, for whatever reason, TMZ, I guess, got them mixed up. But I think Paulie kind of ran with that because as far as I've heard, he's been telling people that he's playing. So that's funny. And he also has said, he's in Sequester and all this stuff. So I think he's kind of riding that train a little bit. But also, and I'm sure we'll talk about this. I agree with Taryn. I watched your stream last night, and I don't think Derek was ever playing. And it's starting to make sense why Derek let the rumors kind of just flow, because Cody essentially went into Sequester with no one knowing that he's playing. And I know, Rob, you always say like pre-gaming doesn't really necessarily help you. And I think that's true. And I think Cody doesn't have a lot of enemies, and he's a good looking, kind of likable guy. So I think he can do well.
Okay. All right.
Theory.
Cody Calafiore. Taryn, is Cody potentially the only Big Brother 16 alumni?
I mean, I've heard another name out there is actually Nicole Franzel. Now, I'm not sure about Nicole Franzel, but her name has definitely been out there.
Okay, Sharon, is Nicole Franzel, is that fire or smoke?
That one's hard. I think it's probably fire. I mean, her name was, she was definitely called. She was definitely asked. I don't think CBS necessarily wanted her, but then.
How'd she get there?
Because I think a lot of winners said no. And I know CBS was like adamant about having a decent amount of winners.
Mm-hmm.
I also think Nicole wasn't necessarily, I don't know if she really wanted to play, but because it's All Stars, I feel like then I kind of believe the rumors that she would have been a little offended if she didn't play. This is what I've heard from her as well. So.
All right. So if they didn't ask her, she would be offended. And so CBS was like, all right, we don't want to upset Nicole.
I actually really liked Nicole her first season, like a lot of people, and I kind of fell off on her, but like, I don't mind seeing her play. Like if she's there, that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this would be solo, not with Victor, correct?
As far as I know, yeah. All
right. Okay. We'll see. But we feel strongly about, Nicole Franzel. Okay. Sharon, who else?
Danny Donato.
Danny Donato. Okay, this is confirmed fire Danny Donato.
Yeah, I feel very confident about it.
Okay. Taryn, I'm very excited if Danny Donato is back in the mix. I know that she has wanted this for a long time, for many years. I've chased Danny Donato to get her to come on the podcast, and she said, look, I don't want to go on podcasts. Maybe I'll play again. I don't know. Danny Donato is fantastic.
It's paid off finally.
Yes, the long game.
Yes. Yeah, I like we've known that she's hungry for it. To me, it felt like a no-brainer. They asked her back recently for Nicole's like engagement thing. I also think that she met her husband Dominic on the show,
Yes.
and they never really got to it like show like brag about it, and they love to brag about that sort of thing. And so I feel like it's a no-brainer for her to come back. She's also a great player, a great character. And I think that she'll be really fun. It's also so cool because she was like 19, I think, the first time she played, and then she came back and she had matured and she had changed a lot. And now she's coming back as, I think, a mom, as someone who's married, and it's like we're seeing her whole life in different stages at different points in Big Brother.
Okay. All right. And Sharon, I'm very excited about this. Danny Donato, a fire person for Big Brother All Stars. Okay. All right. Who else?
Who else do we have? Okay, so Ian. Ian is an interesting one.
Ian Terry.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he smoke or fire?
I'm very confident on Ian. I
Wow.
think early on I had heard his name and then he kind of fell off, and I was like debating whether he decided to play or not. I know they asked him, but I feel pretty confident that he's there, and I'm excited to see him. I think Dan should have won that season, but that doesn't negate the fact that I think Ian's a great player.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'd be excited to see him.
Taryn, what do you make of this? Ian Terry back in the mix?
I mean, I think the fact that we say that Dan should have won is maybe one of the reasons why he's back. I think that Ian's another one that like it just always made sense to me because he has something to prove. I think, and while it seems like he has kind of fallen off the fandom a little bit since his time on the show, he was such a super fan. He still is a fan of the show. I think the allure of a season called All Stars, like Ian, you're an All Star. Come on the season, you're going to be an All Star. That alone, I think, is super exciting for a fan like Ian to come back. And there's a bunch of other winners, it seems, on the cast to sort of like lower the threat level overall. I think that it seems like a no-brainer and it feels right.
Yeah.
So I know that Ian went pretty far down. Sharon, and maybe you have some information about this. When they went and did the casting for the reality star Amazing Race, I believe that Ian was even one of the people that you talked about in your reporting at that point in time. And I know from talking with him that I think that he was disappointed that he didn't end up making the cut for the reality star Amazing Race.
Yeah, and I also used to sometimes get a feeling that he was kind of over it too. So I wasn't for sure where he stood, but I really think he wants to not prove himself, but come back, and I think he could do a good job. I'm just also curious if him and Janelle have any kind of relationship from season 14. I'm assuming not really, but yeah, I'm interested to see who he aligns with.
It'll be very interesting. He's grown up a lot. He was such a kid when he went and played that game. What was that? 7 years ago? 8 years ago if it's Big Brother 22. So that I think people are going to see a very different guy than the person that was, 20 or 21 when he played the first time.
I agree.
It's interesting because the first time he played, he seemingly lacked some of the strategy kind of social element. He was super, super good at competitions, right? But the competition makeup has changed since then. They're way more physical now, assuming that they stay physical in this sort of new production, thing that they're going to be doing. And so he might not be able to sort of rely on the competition ability in the same way that he did before, because there's not as many mental competitions and he's really, really good at those. So it'll be, but I think at the same time, he has matured and he has developed this sort of strategic sense that maybe he didn't have earlier in his Big Brother career. So we may see a very different Ian this time.
Okay. All right. So Sharon, give us another name.
Let me see here. Casey.
Casey. Okay. The winner of Big Brother 20. Casey is back in the mix. And okay, we want winners. We've got Casey.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes. She's, I think, everyone kind of has heard her name. I also from multiple sources heard that, like, again, she's a winner. They wanted winners. She wasn't necessarily their first choice. This is what I've heard. This is not my opinion. And yeah, I'm pretty positive that she's there with,
Okay.
we'll talk about Tyler, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So well, let's talk about them as a pair or as a group. Okay. So Tyler, you are reporting or that not reporting, but you would say that Tyler is fire.
I'm like 90
or more smoke.
I'm more like 90% on Tyler. I really had heard that he was pushing back a little bit. I know he wants to play, and I know CBS thinks he's like, they love Tyler.
Yes.
So I think that he got convinced, and I want to see him there, but I know that he was like, didn't want to leave Angela and all this stuff. So I'm not.
CBS did not want Angela.
As far as I know, they wanted Tyler.
They wanted Tyler, not the showmance.
Correct. That's what I've heard.
No editorial from me.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I've definitely gotten the sense that that it may have been choppy, but that Tyler probably is on the season. So that's very exciting to me. I feel like Tyler is, in a similar way to Janelle, it's like one of the really big gets. Like it's hard to feel like an all-star season without somebody like Tyler there who played so well, came so close, has so much to prove still. And would be very, very fun and interesting to watch him play with people who know his game and, an all-star cast. So I'm very, very happy to see Tyler on the list. Definitely interesting that he's there with Casey. Obviously, they ran the season, as kind of a duo. But I don't know what their relationship is right now. I don't see them hanging out a lot. Seems like Tyler is closer to a lot of other alumni. Well, here's the thing. It seems like he's closer to a lot of the other alumni, some of which don't get along with Casey very much.
Okay.
So there might be some awkward situations that Tyler has to navigate on the season.
At the risk of sounding like a hypocrite, can I say that I would rather have it be Tyler and Angela than Tyler and Casey? Because I kind of feel like that Tyler and Angela as a block would fight with the other people in the house, where I feel like that Angela would get upset. This person said this about me. This person looked at me. You need to say something to him. I kind of feel like that there would be friction between them as a couple and the rest of the house. Whereas I kind of feel like that Tyler and Casey, they're just going to get along with everybody.
Yeah, but just think about the feeds where they're just laying there all night. And then
well, that's not good.
But I actually think there's a lot of drama.
That's more Taryn's cross to bear than mine. Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of drama with the challenge people. So like Casey might be more involved with Josh and all that stuff. So I don't know.
All right. We'll see. All right. So, but look, make no mistake. Tyler is a great player. I'm excited to see him come back and see what he can do. Okay. All right. I just feel like that, that he's got like a right-hand person right there. I mean, clearly like one of the biggest power duos in this game, where we talked about so far, not too many other power duos in this cast.
That's true.
Okay. All right. Who else are we talking about?
Bailey.
All right. Okay. This is interesting.
Without Swaggy.
Yes. So, Swaggy, I believe, retired from reality TV recently, Sharon.
Oh, I heard about this. Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, and Bailey is fire, not smoke.
Yeah. I mean, I actually didn't think she was playing up until really recently, where I heard that she did decide to play. So I know she's out there, sequestered. I'm pretty confident. Again, all these people, I don't know who the alternates are. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying like who I think is sequestered.
Yes, I believe Glenn from Big Brother 18 is also in Sequester.
Ooh,
he never left.
He's ready to jump in. Taryn, what is the status? Do we know of Bailey with Casey and Tyler?
Yeah, so this is what's interesting. On the most recent season of the challenge, Bailey played with Casey, and they went in as good friends and came out as Bailey saying, "I will never speak to you again."
What happened?
So there's a lot of history here. Apparently, on the very early days of Big Brother 20, before the feeds came on, Casey and Bailey were very close. And we saw that they were close in the house, but they were very close, sharing a bed together. Casey talking about Bailey being her type. Like a potential romantic situation, to hear Bailey describe it. And but then things kind of fizzled out. And on the challenge, Casey ended up in a similar situation with somebody else on the cast and kind of sided with that person over Bailey, and kind of to Bailey's point, from Bailey's perspective, screwed Bailey over in order to be with the new fling. And Bailey was pretty upset, and she was talking about why she was upset and why it hurt her. And then Casey was like denying the fact that they were even that close at the beginning of Big Brother 20. And so Bailey was particular, like, now you're like denying that, you're calling me a liar. And they ended it with like, I'm never speaking to you again. As far as I know, she has not ever like refollowed or spoken to Casey since.
This all happened on the show?
On the show. And,
okay.
and
maybe you should go back and watch those episodes.
Yes, I had stopped watching the season because it got boring. But
actually, if somebody has a YouTube clip of like the whole Casey versus Bailey on the challenge, that would be even better.
So I just went back and watched it, but it was very like if you recall Bailey's blow up with Tyler,
who can forget?
It was very similar, only like way more personal and longer and
less blood.
And like less blood, yes. But it was big. It was very dramatic. It was a big blow up. And unless they have like secretly reconciled and maintained the facade of this beef in order to secretly work together on the show, this could be a big sticking point in the early days of the All-Stars.
All right, Sharon, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. This sounds messy.
This sounds messy. Okay.
And
all right.
To my knowledge, Tyler and Bailey are good. Like they're fine. Which is why I think Tyler might end up in a sort of like where is he going to go direct situation.
Well, I mean, that was Big Brother 20, where that, as I described it during that season, it was like Tyler was like the lead of the sitcom, and then there was all just like different eccentric characters around him, and he had to like run from one room into the other to be the person who was sort of like just trying to keep everything from exploding.
Right.
Wounded bird Tyler.
Yeah.
I know Tyler made some phone calls too, so I know he's maybe trying to make amends. I don't know.
Pre-gaming.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Sharon, what a great birthday this is for you. This is so exciting. All right, Sharon, let's keep going. Of course, Sharon has been following this beat for many months. So many people have been joining us as we've been going along here. Sharon from Us Weekly is here to talk about everything that's happening on Smoke and Fire in terms of Big Brother All-Stars casting. All right, Sharon, who else is out there?
This is one that I did not know I would ever say, but Christmas Abbott.
Christmas Abbott? What?
Yeah, it's out there.
Why?
Good question. I actually had heard this a week ago and was like, I'm not posting this. Like,
this is fire, Sharon?
Yeah, this is fire. Now, again, she might be an alternate. I would assume that she is. I would kind of hope that she is. But I had heard this and I was like, I'm not posting this because I was trying to be careful about what I was reporting.
Yeah.
And someone else tweeted her name and I was just like, okay, I'm not crazy. I mean, we might have the same source, but if not, my source is pretty solid on this. So
yeah.
I think she's there.
Not to say people don't make mistakes, but didn't she recently get into some legal trouble?
I think she threw a coffee at her ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend or something and got arrested.
How hot? Was it hot?
Yeah, I think it was. I
mean, iced coffee, no big whoop. Send a dry cleaning bill. But hot coffee, that's assault.
Yes, I think she was arrested. I remember seeing a mugshot.
Okay, mugshots of like the mug that was thrown, or was it a paper cup?
It's unclear.
Unclear. I'll do some research. Taryn, what do you know about this?
I don't know. I don't really know anything about Christmas. I've seen Christmas's name out there all over the place. I can't comment on it myself. But I mean, does it make sense? I don't know. Not really, but
Okay. Well, we have
but-
we have Josh. We have Christmas. Is Paul gonna be there?
That's another one that I'm not sure. I mean, we've all heard his name, and I think they want Paul, but I don't know if he said yes. I still cannot confirm that.
it kind of feels like
Did he say
Paul
friendship
might
or
have said-
pissed?
like he might have dropped out. It kind of feels like he might have dropped out, or maybe he was never in, or maybe he is in.
Never cared.
He's been pretty silent. I don't know.
Okay.
But that adds a whole nother layer, because you also have Brock there, you have Nicole there, the people he lost to. So,
Okay. So Paul, I'm gonna put him in the smoke pile.
I think we have to right now. Yeah.
All right. Boy, for the Christmas one is wacky.
I would like if I'm this is me not any information about this, but if I'm guessing, I would guess that Christmas, if we don't know who's an alternate and who's not an alternate, my guess would be that Christmas is an alternate.
That's a slippery slope, Karen.
But it is a slippery slope.
That they know who we want to see and who we don't want to see. It's
Yeah, you're probably right.
If it wasn't my most solid source, I wouldn't feel so confident. But I think we can all agree, like, I've been trying to vet and cross-reference and really not post things unless I'm sure. And for whatever reason, Christmas is more solid than Paul right now. So,
boy, this
maybe he was Paul's alternate. No, that's not how it works.
This is really weird. I wonder if it's one of this. Is it possible that when she got hurt, that this was like some sort of like, hey, if we ever do All Stars, you get to come back?
I doubt it, right?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure this one out.
Honestly, I think they tell most of the house guests that, even if they're not in most house guests, they're like, you might come back, because they want to keep them in line. That's they put the carrot in front of a lot of them, I think.
Okay. All right.
It makes sense why Nicole might have been offended if Christmas got the call, and then now I kind of understand.
Yeah, now you get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sharon, let's hear some more names. Are we getting close here? Because we've talked about now. So we have Janelle, Josh, Cody, Nicole Franzel, Danny Donato, Ian, Casey, Tyler, Bailey, Christmas. That's 10. Kaser and Paul as potential smoke people that are on the fence. So we got to have a few more names.
Yeah, I think most of the names left are pretty like smoke for me. Like,
okay, all right, good.
But we got to talk about Danielle Reyes.
Danielle Reyes. Okay, this is, in my mind, this is the main event of is she or isn't she? Danielle Reyes. All right, Sharon, what does your reporting tell you?
My reporting tells me that she declined the invitation. I've heard that people said maybe she's, she is pretty tight-lipped. I've heard that from a bunch of sources.
I've seen it on TV.
But she tweeted denials. Not that makes any difference. And also just I've heard from sources that she did say no. So I'm more inclined to believe she's not going to be there, but I hope she is.
Okay. Taryn, what are your thoughts on Danielle Reyes?
I mean, I really wish that she was on. I think that she's definitely somebody that was in the mix, whatever that means. I think that she was talking to people, but I don't think she's ever like said to anybody that she's on for sure. Maybe I had theorized before that there might be some bigger names that decided to think about the offer and kind of like reach out to people and do some pre-gaming to get a sense of where they'd stand if they played, and that would help them decide if they wanted to play or not. And so maybe that's the situation with Danielle. Again, that's pure speculation on my part. But it seems like despite potentially being in the mix that we might not see Danielle, unfortunately.
Yeah, she has a couple of recent tweets. One from yesterday. I know you all think there is hope, but I swear on everything I love, I will not be on Big Brother 22. I mean, Sharon,
big
that doesn't
statement.
sound like she's categorically denying that she is going to be a part of this season.
And if she, and really, well, I guess the NDAs are out the window because now everyone seems to be denying their whether they're on, but I just don't see it. And she was, when I talked to some sources, they kind of grouped her in the, well, some people with kids and grandkids don't want to leave them. And she was one of those people. She was kind of grouped in with that. So I don't know if that's the reason, but I don't think we're going to see her there, unfortunately.
Yeah. Although then it was followed up then today by a little bit of an uncharacteristic, very hypey tweet, which said, this season of BB All-Stars 2 is going to be a hit, all caps. I bet you CBS will do another season back to back. There is no other new programming. Big Brother is perfect show. Huge ratings.
I mean, if that's her trolling, that's amazing.
Did Tony take over her Twitter account or something?
Or worse, yeah. Okay, all right. Maybe that was a sponsored tweet. Hashtag ad. Okay. All right, so that would be great, but it sounds like that for Danielle, who is very proud of her family, to swear on everything she loves, she's not going to be on Big Brother 22. There's no reason for her to do that. She does not need to go to that length to deny this.
I mean, Marcellus would probably argue the same thing, right? Like, no reason for you to do that, Danielle.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So maybe when they do that back-to-back season, she'll see what a hit this is, and then she'll want to be out there for the big ratings. Okay. All right. So we'll put Danielle. If there's fire, there's smoke, and then there's like not on the stove.
Correct. Perfect.
Okay. All right. Who else? Who else are we talking about?
I actually forgot to mention Hayden, but I know TMZ had him. Brent had him. I actually have never heard his name, so I can't really say one way or the other, but I wouldn't be shocked.
Okay, TMZ and our own Brent Walgamont is reporting Hayden Moss, winner of Big Brother 12 and a veteran of Survivor Blood versus Water, back in the mix. Taryn, this is intriguing.
Yeah, I do think this is like I'm not sure how solid this is. TMZ was one of the sources that Brent was pulling from when he talked about Hayden. He did have, I think, one other person who he had saying Hayden's name.
But TMZ also reported Paulie Calafiore, correct?
Exactly.
Right.
Which so it's who knows? I think that his name has definitely been out there, somewhere along the lines. I don't think his name came up for no reason. But I don't think there's a lot of like confirmation, which granted, like, who is Hayden going to talk to? Who is Hayden pre-gaming with other than potentially Enzo that would leak this information if he was on? So maybe that's why we're not hearing his name as much as some of the others. Who knows? But it's a possibility, but not something that I'd like bank on, I think.
Okay. All right. So a little smoky Hayden Moss. Okay. Who else, Sharon?
Well, we might as well talk about Enzo.
All right. Could Meow Meow be in the mix?
He's another one that I didn't hear. Only recently, everyone seems to think he's an alternate. People online, not me. I don't know one way or the other, unfortunately. But it would make sense. I mean, he's fun. He's good television. I wouldn't hate to see him.
Okay. Taryn, how you feeling about Enzo?
I mean, look, I like Enzo. I am a biased source, but it makes no sense to me why we would do Enzo and not Matt Hoffman. I feel like, and that's like that would have been my opinion before I knew Matt Hoffman. I was always a fan of Hoffman. But like I feel like brings a lot more to the table. No, I don't want to turn this into a Matt Hoffman podcast.
Yeah,
but I worry that Enzo might be in over his head in a cast of all-stars.
Okay, well, in terms of how they're going to do, I feel like that's another conversation. But in terms of that, do you think he's there is the matter at hand right now?
I haven't really heard. I mean, I personally haven't really heard much about Enzo other than seeing his name a bunch. And I know that it's one of those situations where like people are trying to call Enzo and he's not responding. And he had posted a while back like about all.
Maybe he's not used to people trying to call.
Yeah, and how he was like, maybe gonna be on it. So I think I think they really liked Enzo at the time. I think it makes sense that they would have given him the call, even though I would have preferred another member of the brigade. So I think I think it's possible. I think it's probably a little more likely than Hayden, to be honest. But I can't confirm any more than that.
Okay. All right. So Hayden and Enzo, little bit of heat there, but we don't know too much. All right, Sharon, what else?
Let's see. I know Brent also said Amber. I had not heard her name,
Okay.
but I know that's out there.
This is Amber from Big Brother 16. This is the woman
Yes.
that Caleb Beast Mode Cowboy pined after.
Yeah, this is not Big Brother 8, Amber.
Okay. Yes. All right. That would be an interesting call.
It would be, but again, this is just my perspective. This is nothing that I know. I would assume that maybe she's an alternate, but
Okay.
I have not heard anything about her, so that's me speculating.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware, Brent is the only person that has said Amber. I don't think I've heard anybody else say her name. Although I haven't been looking that hard. But Brent is somewhat certain. So what Brent is tweeting is that he has 3 sources, and 2 of them have said Amber. So I think it is pretty random, but that's also why would her name have come up if it wasn't true, in a way. So I think it's possible again. It maybe is she an alternate? I don't know, but I definitely think it's a possibility.
It would be weird. I think that the casual audience may not have a great recollection of her stay. She didn't even make the jury in Big Brother 16, correct? Yeah, because I did a podcast with her that summer, so she was out of the house. I see in the chat a lot of talk about Davon. Sharon, are you seeing Davon as being in the mix?
I mean, I've heard her name just like everyone else a million times, but I'm just not sure. I think she denied it multiple times on Twitter as well. I don't know if she would do it. I'd like to see her there, but I can't confirm her. I've heard her name, but no one can say yes, definitely she's there.
Taryn, what do you make of Davon BB22?
I mean, I'd be here for it. I think Brent recently tweeted that he feels like Davon is now a lock. I don't know why. He feels like recently he's determined that she's a lock. Her name has been here. Her name is definitely one of the ones that has been out there for a long time, very prevalent throughout the entire thing. It's another one that just makes a lot of sense to me. I think she's probably more likely than many of the other people that we're not sure on. I think that she's just she Davon is somebody that you can have on, and she will never not give you good TV. And I think that she's available. She probably wants to do it, I feel. So it seems right to me.
Yeah. I mean, seems like a no-brainer to have Davon. The question would be, was she up for it? And I guess we have to see. Taryn, do you know, could you put Davon in the equation of challenge people with Josh and Casey and Bailey? Does she have a horse in that race in any way?
So I do not believe that she has actually played with Casey or Bailey, but she did play with Josh and got along with him pretty well. But I think that she also got along with Pauly pretty well on the challenge, at least. And Josh and Pauly's relationship has deteriorated dramatically. So it's, again, another situation where somebody who is sort of good with both sides of a feud, but Pauly, if he's not on the season, that's going to not interfere quite as much. I think that she can get along with Josh pretty well. I think that she's still pretty close to him. So I would imagine that she would be able to kind of get into that crew.
Okay. Sharon, are there any other names in the mix that you're hearing?
Most of this I feel like is just Twitter rumors at this point.
Okay, let's explore Twitter rumors.
I mean, a lot of people think that it's Nicole Anthony, not Nicole Franzel, or both of them, but I had not heard Nicole Anthony's name.
Okay. Taryn, could you think that Nicole Anthony is in the mix?
I mean,
Nobody from the most recent season of Big Brother has been mentioned yet that we've talked about.
Exactly. This is one that just like, to me, it doesn't make sense that she's not on. That she is the most recent fan favorite, very involved in the community still. I think has expressed that she would be willing to go back. I don't know why she wouldn't be on the season, other than the fact that she's saying she's not. So I think that's probably where a lot of the Twitter rumors come from. Just that it's if you had to guess, if like prior to any kind of speculation, and I had to guess like who's one of the biggest locks, I would assume Nicole Anthony is one of the biggest locks. So it seems to me, if I had to guess, I would say she's on. But I don't know if she's done. I don't know if she's talked to a lot of people. Pre-gaming. I don't know if her name is out there from other players or anything like that. But you have things like Ovi tweeting like, "Good luck to my friend." You have the people who are on to the fact that she was apparently, as soon as the sequester started, she started tweeting from an iPad, and she's done that like once before, but she doesn't usually do it. She usually tweets from an Android, and then she was like, she posted like, "Oh, here's my iPad. It's nothing crazy," but. Who knows?
She posted herself with a picture of the iPad?
Well, so I believe Eric Curto posted a picture, or somebody posted a picture of her iPad, but not her with an iPad in a newspaper, like with a date on it or anything. And I believe that she's like posted some pre-recorded shows that they're maybe trying to give off the impression that they're not pre-recorded, or that they were recorded on a different date than they actually were. And so if that's the case, that would be some more smoke on that fire.
Okay. So. All right.
All that on Reddit. Yep.
It would seem weird, not just to not have Nicole, but Sharon, for the show to not have somebody from their most recent season. Are they just trying to make everybody forget Big Brother 21?
I mean, I wouldn't blame them, but no, it does make sense. And I think there was so much shuffling around. I know they asked a lot of people. And I know because of COVID, things just kept moving, and that's why no one could confirm anyone for sure. So who knows? I feel like it does make sense that she's in the mix. I mean, if Amber and Christmas are in the mix, Nicole definitely should be in the mix.
Exactly.
We haven't touched on this yet, but as I'm sort of like processing the names, Taryn, it does seem odd that in terms of diversity of this cast, I feel like we do not really have a ton of people of color here in this cast. That you would think that would be something also that that the people that are casting Big Brother would want to make sure they really emphasize, not just because of what's happening in our world right now, but especially coming off the heels of Big Brother 21.
Well, like there definitely are a decent number of women of color, but the men in particular seem to be lacking, and that's why like names like Kaser, like if you're not hearing many other people of color's names, then maybe that makes Kaser more likely. Who knows? But also, Big Brother has done a very poor job of casting a significant number of men of color in their history. So I don't think they have that many people to pull from in that regard, which is not great, but might explain the lack there. But I would imagine that they're trying hard, and maybe that is why you're seeing like names like Amber pop up. But who knows?
Okay. Sharon, do you have any other real wild cards that are out there?
I mean, I don't know if this is a wild card. I know Brent was tweeting about this. I don't know the status. Kevin from Big Brother 11, which would be fun.
Yeah. Who really has never been celebrated by the franchise.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to see him, but I don't know anything about that.
What about Mr. Spectacular? I feel like I saw his name floating around.
You did? Where?
Look, Big Brother Twitter is a wild and crazy place.
That is true. Jesse is I've actually tried to reach out to him before. He's so he doesn't, I don't know, whatever. So it's possible. I know CBS loves him. He's on every season, but
Yes. Okay. Not in the mix.
I don't think so.
Okay. Taryn, any other interesting names that you may have heard?
Well, one that has recently started spreading that is kind of surprising is Diane.
Diane
from,
Henry.
Yes, from season 5 and the original All-Star season.
And the original All-Stars. Okay. All right. I'll bite. Why? Why Diane Henry?
Good question.
Like, she's fine. I used to run into her like in person, like way back when. But were people clamoring for Diane? I feel like on the original All Stars, that people were like, "Oh, okay, sure."
I mean, I think at the time of the original All Stars, she was still like very big. She was kind of like the original robbed goddess of going out in third place, who seemingly would have won if not for being cut there. And she did pretty well on her season. People liked her, I think. But I think a lot of people were disappointed in her All Stars performance.
Yeah, she had a quick ouster on the All Star. And that, look, Taryn, let me explain how the world works. Okay. You do good on one season, you go back on All Stars, you're out it. That's it. Start a podcast. It's over for you.
That's where she messed up. She was fully on the Rob Cesternino trajectory, and then she didn't start Diane Has a Podcast. And so who knows where her life went.
Okay, I'll let the chat also, if they want to throw some names at us while we have Taryn and Sharon here. And then Sharon has big birthday plans that she has to get to. Okay, everybody? All right? All right. Any other interesting tidbits about the format of the show, Sharon, that you've heard?
I think no, actually, someone that I heard they asked that I was surprised that they asked was Amanda Zuckerman. I was convinced that they would never ask anyone from Big Brother 15, but I heard that CBS really likes her, and then they did ask her. She just said no. So that was a weird one that I heard. Yeah.
I feel like I've heard her complain that they haven't asked her and that she would want to do it.
I think she used to say that, and I feel like that she recently was like, Big Brother should be canceled. I thought I saw her say. Okay. Any rumors about my Summer of Stein co-host, Eric Stein?
I tried to start those rumors, but
no, doesn't sound like it. I've seen some Twitter buzz. What about Raven? Could she be back drinking the Kool-Aid with Paul?
Your interview with Raven is my favorite thing you've ever done.
Thank you. I hear that from a surprising amount of people. That's my greatest life's work. My chat with Raven. Okay.
No, didn't hear her name, sadly.
Karen, are you buying anything about Audrey? I've seen her name floating around today.
I mean, I hope people talk about Sequester because of it, but I personally don't buy it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. So many people are playing the game. Okay. Jacob wants to know about a name that I had heard for quite some time leading up to this. Sharon, what about Frankie Grande? I feel like that for months we heard about Frankie was one of the people that was definitely going to be on Big Brother All-Stars.
Yeah, and I will admit, I was one of the people that said that because I know they asked him, and I know Frankie is actually really good. He doesn't really talk if he's accepting something. At least that's what I've heard from people who know him well. So I actually was pretty confident early on that he would do it. And along the lines, the weeks went by and I just heard his name less and less. So I'm not sure what happened there, but he also has a pretty successful Twitch channel, I think. I mean,
yeah. So
I don't know.
What does he do on Twitch?
He talked on Twitch though about
I was here.
early on in the speculation, he talked on Twitch and basically implied that he was asked and said no, for a myriad of reasons, like the timing, everything going on in the world. He didn't feel like it was the right thing for him to do at that point. But a lot of time passed since then. Theoretically, he could have come around on it. Things have kind of calmed down a little bit in the world since then, or like maybe he perceives it that way, and maybe that he would give it a second look. But who knows?
Okay. Any word on Jose? Adam Katz wants to know. The Messiah. He would be a good person to bring back.
He's been on the challenge.
Yeah.
I think no comment, I guess.
At least he's good TV. He's good feeds.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think probably the problem is that he was only there for like a week. So it's hard to know like how long that can last, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
how many challenge people do they really want on the show, I wonder?
But Devon only went 2 weeks in her first season. They had faith to bring her back. I feel like that. Look, you can see it in 10 days in the house if they've got it or they don't. I mean, they bring her back Christmas.
Maybe.
Okay. What about Donnie, Taryn? I thought that Donnie was a name that we were hearing a lot.
I figured Donnie would be a lock because Donnie is, I think, one of the most popular players from recent seasons. I think he would want to do it. I think, and I think he'd be pretty fun. I think he'd be like, in some ways like the Chicken George of the mix in All Stars, except better than Chicken George, in that I think he can actually play the game a bit. So it seemed to make sense to me, but I haven't heard anything about Donnie anywhere. Donnie has been on Twitter posting pictures of himself like, it's not me, guys, sorry. Which seemed believable to me. So it seems like no Donnie.
Sharon, do you know if any celebrity Big Brother contestants were contacted about potentially being on Big Brother All Stars?
Not that I know of, no.
Yeah.
No. But
Okay.
I actually went back and watched the commercial that CBS aired, and there's Tommy's in it twice, which I think is interesting. They show him twice. I mean, they also show Cody, Bailey, Kat, Tommy, Josh, Cody, and Jess. But yeah, I don't know. And I know I don't think there's a gay man on the cast yet. So like,
yeah, that's interesting. I think we thought that Frankie Grande was blocking Tommy, but do you think that Tommy could potentially be back there?
I hadn't heard his name, but I thought it was just interesting that they showed him a lot in the commercial.
Okay.
I feel like Tommy's a name that you would have heard if he was in the mix. You know what I
Right.
Did you hear my name? Okay. Also, I see in the chat that he's on doing stuff with TV Co. So it doesn't seem like it. Taryn, what about our friend of the podcast, Caitlin Herman? That seems like a notable snub that would not be back.
Honestly, I thought she would be back. I mean, it's again a situation where I think.
Did she say no? Is that possible?
I don't think so. But who knows? She has, I think, positive and negative experiences in the community. On and off.
Positive energy.
Yes, but it felt like they liked her. They brought her back to host a competition. She's great television. It kind of makes sense. There's throw her in the mix and put a thorn in Tyler's side, right?
Yeah, well, I wonder if somebody said, "Hey, I'm not coming back if ...
It's a possibility.
I mean, if you're completely speculating, that seems like it could have been a thing that might have happened,
right? I mean, wasn't she such a no-brainer to bring back for All Stars, Sharon?
I would think so. She's great television. I just think maybe they were too many people from Big Brother 20 at some point, and they're all intertwined because of the challenge. So I don't know. I'm assuming she got called. I have to believe that she got called.
Okay. All right. And people saw Johnny Mac seems more of a snub than a name that I've heard.
Johnny Mac has just had a consistent history of being snubbed. He should have won fan favorite that season. It should have happened. He should have been the one to come back in 18. He should be back now. It's a travesty of justice that he's not.
Okay. All right. This is so exciting. Sharon, anything else that you want to share with the listeners?
No, I just appreciate everyone being nice. Like I said, I think the preseason was rough. And I think we're all just trying to figure out what the truth was. And I still think we're trying to figure it out. So I'm just excited to see the cast. And, early on I said, let's manage our expectations because we weren't going to get Jan or Derek or Will or anyone like that, or even maybe Danielle. But I think it's actually a pretty decent cast now. Like I'm starting to get excited.
Yeah, I think this should be a lot of fun.
I mean, I think that if even like 75%, if even even 50%. I think if as long as we keep some of the big names of this is true, then I think we're looking at a really good cast. When I first heard that it was going to be All Stars, I was pretty skeptical about the quality of cast members that we were going to get. Not because I didn't think that it was available to us, but because I just didn't have faith in the casting process to choose the right people. So I feel pretty optimistic about this. And I will say, despite the fact that this has gone, this is, people have been speculating about this for a long time. It was a very open secret for a while. And then, people talking about it for a long time, and all these names are talked about. I think it's pretty impressive on production's end that we don't have a locked in cast list yet. That we don't have all the names and that we're not sure about it, because I feel like most of the time, I can't remember the last time we had returning players where we didn't know where we weren't sure, for this long.
Yeah. It's exciting times. Sharon, do we know about the timetable here? So we are expecting a live move in August 5th. Do you know how far out the season's going to run?
I had heard from people
assuming no complications.
I had heard from people who were asked to be on that it is a full season. Now, that was a month or two ago, so I don't know, because it got pushed back more, that they might make it smaller. But I heard from the beginning that it was a full season, and they were not upping the prize money, which is kind of surprising to me.
What about the appearance fee?
I mean, I also heard $40K. I know some people wanted more. I think this is crazy, but I really think that Dan, Derek, a couple of those other people, had they been given more money, had it been a shorter season, I think they would have considered it. I really do. I just think $40K, they probably, a lot of them think that.
Look, if they did some sort of Big Brother, Winners at War or Big Brother Legends, and did the 3-week Celebrity Big Brother schedule, I think that you could get those people. But I don't think that you're getting the 3-month commitment at the real heavy hitters.
Yeah. So, but it looks like it'll be going into September, October.
So Taryn, have you done the math on this?
I mean, it depends on how long the season is, because it could be, I've heard 90 days. I've heard it's ending at this date in October, no matter what, no matter how late it starts. So they'll change the number of days. I've heard it will be just a full 99, 100-day season, no matter what, that they'll put it on. So I don't think we have a lot of concrete information about how long the season will last. Yeah, but I would imagine sometime in October, latest early November or something like that.
Yep. And one of the things that somebody had said this to me, and I wish I could remember who it was so I could give them credit. But Sharon, look for we can't be doing the buybacks here, because what are we going to take people out and then put them back into Sequester? It's too much. So we don't want to reintroduce people to the house.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've never liked the buyback, so take them. I'm fine with them.
Yeah, I feel it's too risky. They can't do that.
No, I don't.
That's good news, Taryn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we won't have to see Kaser be evicted twice, which is great.
Yes, unless Camp Comeback returns as well. Okay. All right. So this is great. Sharon, anything else Big Brother All-Stars related to talk about?
I think
in our rumor roundup,
I would say I think we'll know a little bit more even by the weekend, because people, at least I know, still have their phones in Sequester. And
iPads.
Yeah, and I heard they're being taken away, I think, this weekend. So I think we'll start to see more people disappear.
How could they let people still have their phones?
That is super weird to me.
I don't know. I mean, a pretty solid source told me that they still have their phones for a few days. So I don't know if it's everybody. Maybe it's actually just someone who requested it. But that, and also I feel like we probably are missing someone completely, right? There's got to be someone that, or 2 or 3 people that are completely off the radar. So I'm excited to see who those people are.
Okay. All right. Lots of mysteries to unfold. Taryn, do you have anything else you want to add?
Well, I mean, I will add that if they do have their phones, that's super weird. I would like if they have their phones, then they probably have a good idea of who they're playing with and nothing but time on their hands to text each other.
What's
And
stopping them from calling each
That's what
other?
you're saying. Well, you know what? Maybe it's not their phone. Maybe it's an iPad. I just know that they have something. Actually, now this is making sense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the iPad is making more sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that you would think that you have to give them something to entertain themselves for the 2 weeks in quarantine. But you know, I don't know exactly how you would do that. Like take the SIM card out or something like that, or they just have access to some sort of like local area network. I don't know. I'm sure smarter people than us can hopefully try to figure that out and not just rely on the honor system.
That's true. That was
Okay.
one source, so maybe it's wrong.
All right. So next week, we're going to get a lot of information. We'll kick off our official preseason for Big Brother 22. We will get into our cast previews and drafts, and however, we're going to get into all that. Sharon, how can people keep up with what you're reporting about the season?
Just on my Twitter at Sharon Tharp. Not really on any other social media, but I'm always on Twitter. So
okay, well, keep up the great work. Thank you for all your reporting in the lead up to this and including this announcement today. Greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
And Sharon, what will you be doing to celebrate your birthday?
There's nothing to do. I mean, New York is shut down. I'll probably go get some, pizza with a friend that I trust doesn't have COVID. I don't know.
Yes. Okay.
Fun.
All right. Well, Sharon, this was really great. Really appreciate that. And of course, Taryn, I know you're following all of this stuff super closely. What else do you have going on?
You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taryn Armstrong. I've been streaming pretty regularly there, so you can come and hang out, ask me questions if you want. And we've got the Big Brother 4 blockumentary is coming to a close. The final part, although there'll be one little bonus part after it, will be dropping probably tomorrow. So great time to just binge out Big Brother 4 while you're waiting for the All-Star season to start up. See the true origins of floating. Speaking of, I also dropped an off-season podcast recently about floating and where it came from, the strategy, the terminology. If you think you know where it came from, you might be surprised. So check that out. And then I imagine, going to have some, as soon as the cast drops, some cast analysis. Drafts,
yeah, we'll talk about the official cast and get into all of our coverage for the official Big Brother All-Star season.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. So much fun. Of course, great time to get involved with everything we're doing. Rob is a podcast on our Rob is a podcast Patreon. Head on over to robhasawebsite.com/patron for more information about our patron community, our patron-only Facebook group, and more. robhasawebsite.com/patron. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.